Hey, what's up guys? It's your girl Ktura Kay and I'm back with another video. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to be stepping into my military career. So I'm going to be talking about that. And this isn't anything new to my channel, but I don't do it quite as often. So I'm actually starting a military segment here. So you're actually going to be able to, learn more about my experiences in the military and, just how I feel about it, because I get so many questions. So we're just gonna jump right in it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I post new videos. So if you're interested in watching, stay tuned. So we're just gonna hop right in it. Today I'm gonna be talking about the pros of the military. So as you all may or may not know, I've been in the military for about 8 years now. So I have a lot of experience. 8 years is a long time, almost halfway there, because most people like to do 20 years to get their full retirement and full benefits. So you can retire at 20 years if you didn't know. So that's one pro, because a lot of jobs out here these days, you cannot retire in 20 years. You have to be a certain age and things are constantly changing. So you have to wait until you're almost 70 years old to retire and get retirement. And the military is completely different. You just have to serve 20 years and you can retire. And a lot of people look at that like, wow, that's amazing, because, like I said, times are changing. And so a lot of people like, do your 20, do your 20, advising other people to do their 20 because it's beneficial in the long run. So that is one of the pros. Another pro is the pay. I mean, I have gone from enlisted to an officer, so the pay is quite different and there's a whole different pay scale. I also went from reserve to active duty. Reserve, traditionally you only work 1 week in a month, whereas in active duty you work every day. So of course you're getting a steady paycheck versus, just a little weekend paycheck in the reserve, unless you're like AGR. I'll talk about that more. I'm actually going to do a video on the guard versus active duty. The guard is a reserve component, so I'm going to do a video on that because I have experience in both fields. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in knowing more about it and my experience. So that's another thing. I know a lot of people they like complain about the pay, and especially if you're enlisted. Like I said, the pay, and you're starting from the bottom, the pay is gonna be a little low. And some people think like, oh, just because you're in the military you're making like buku money. That's not the case. You have to start from the bottom and work your way up. So that's how it works. So the higher your ranking, the higher you'll get paid. And with active duty, you get paid in 3 separate forms. You get your basic salary, you get your BAH, which is like housing allowance, and you also get BASs for sustenance, so like food and stuff like that. And everybody pretty much gets the same amount for that particular payment because it's based off of your zip code. Active duty pay is way better than guard pay in my opinion, especially if you're a traditional guardsman or reservist. It's way better. So that's another pro. Outside of materialistic things like, like money and stuff like that, I really feel like the military definitely gave me a lot of life skills. I've learned so much during my time in the military. I learned so many different skills when it comes to being professional and handling yourself in certain situations. And that all started back in basic training. You learn all of those skills. Well, you learn majority of those skills back in basic training. And even as an officer, I've gone through officer training as well, which definitely puts you in different situations to see how you work under pressure, to see, basically to see if you're going to fold or not. And that is very important when it comes to being a leader, especially, like I said, as an officer, they're expecting you to make the best decision. And that's where, the professionalism comes in, and discipline as well, because they're trying to mold you into an airman. And like all military branches have to go through basic training, so they want to know that they can depend on you to go out and fight for our country. Like, they want to be able to trust you. You might be, goofy, laughing and having fun and like to have fun, but when you're going to basic training, you have to know that you're there for a reason. So that's what I had to, you know, train myself to do, especially when it came to basic training. Like my granddad was in the Army, so he was very strict. So, you know, I kind of always thought about him and how he handled himself in certain situations. And I'm like, okay. And my dad as well. My dad was in the military. I looked at them as an example of how I wanted to, you know, be respected and how I wanted to act. And it worked. Well, I turned it on when I went to basic training, and I barely cracked a smile in basic training. And I'm so glad that I did that, because I saw so many people getting yelled at for taking it as a joke, and, you know, just smiling in certain times where you're not supposed to be like smiling, or, you know, playing around. Like, I'm glad I taught myself beforehand. So that's definitely another pro of being in the military, because, honey, if it wasn't for that, like, I don't know, I'd probably be, I'm still like fun or whatever, but probably wouldn't be able to be as professional. I mean, it comes with age as well, but I just feel like early on I joined early. So, you know, back then, you know, you're really not worried about being professional and stuff like that. But I learned it at an early age, and I'm glad I did. So another pro is actually fitness. I definitely got on my fitness grind because there was a little wait before I went to basic training. So I got on my fitness grind. I actually got serious about getting fit, because I wanted to be able to run that 1.5 miles in a certain time, do as many push-ups as I can in 1 minute, and do as many sit-ups that I can in 1 minute. So, you know, you have to be physically fit. So that's a pro. It definitely got me like on it when it came to working out. I remember I used to do the Shaun T videos and hip hop abs, insanity, like all of that. I got really serious about it because I didn't want to fail my PT test, and I knew a lot of people that struggled with fitness when it came to going to basic training, and the slightest thing can hold you back, because they had this thing called recycles. So if you didn't pass a test, or you didn't pass an obstacle or something like that, sometimes they would hold you back. Or even if you got hurt or something, they would recycle you. So they call that recycle, and that's where they basically put you in another flight that started a week after you did. You don't want to get recycled. So I got on my fitness grind, and ever since then, like, I've been on it, because you want to make sure you can pass your test. So I always strive to make above a 90. So that's my goal. Try to keep my 90 and above and keep it moving, because I'm not trying to take the test twice a year. Just fit to fight, that's what they call it. So you want to make sure you're physically fit and you don't have anything really to worry about. And that's where, like, most of people, like, anxiety come from. Like, oh my God, I gotta pass my PT test. Like, people really stress about it if they're not on their grind, like when it comes to working out and stuff. So that's why I like to make it a habit. Like, I made it a lifestyle. I made a lifestyle change, and it's something that I do on a daily basis. Another pro is respect. I definitely have to put it out there that once you join and sign that dotted line to fight for our country, you will definitely get respect, especially if you're in your uniform, you know, living your day-to-day life. Say you have to stop by the post office, or, you know, grab a bite to eat. You will get someone who actually probably has family in the military, or, you know, has a son or daughter, or has had their parents or grew up in a military family, that actually, like, respect. A lot of people respect the military, but you can really tell when someone grew up in a military family, or has a child that's in the military or something like that, or a sister or brother, because they know the commitment that we make, and, you know, how hard it can be, you know, because we're actually out here fighting for our country. Like, that's what we signed up to do. So a lot of people will give us that respect, and, you know, say thank you for serving, or thank you for fighting for our country, or something like that. And, you know, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, you know, you definitely made the right choice as far as, you know, joining. So it's really no better feeling than that, you know, actually knowing you're serving and doing something for the world, you know what I'm saying? So it just kind of, it really means something to me. Like I said, I grew up in a military family, so, you know, I respect military members. So that is another pro. And another one that I have is networking. The military is a big community. Like, I went on a TDY one time, and a girl that was in training with me, I was in tech school, so she was in tech school as well, and we had the same job. But you can get sent all over the world with the job that I had. So, you know, it was just so crazy that I went there for a TDY. She was actually working at that duty station. She was active duty. Like, I was in the reserve still. So it was just crazy seeing her. And like I said, it's a big community, but it's small at the same time because you get to network with so many people. You just never know who knows who. So a lot of opportunities come about, and you can use it to your advantage. So another pro is traveling. Like I said, you definitely get to travel the world. If you're active duty, you travel more so than reserve, but in the reserve you still have the opportunity to travel because they do TDYs, and they do TDYs on active duty as well, but it's depending on your job. I actually did a TDY one time in England. It's like basically you go train at another duty station, so it just happened to be overseas. So I was able to go to London, I went to Paris, I went to Belgium, and so it was definitely a great experience because, you know, you're going there to work, you're getting paid, and you get to actually travel and go around, especially when you're in Europe. That's like one of the best places to be. There's so many countries in Europe, and you can touch all of those countries. Like, one weekend you can go to this country, one weekend you can go to the next country. Belgium, Amsterdam, Spain. You can go everywhere because it's just so close. And that is definitely a pro because, you know, I love to travel. So a lot of people join the military just to do that, but active duty, like I said, is a little bit different. There's so many different duty stations that you can get sent to, but, you know, it's kind of like you can put on your, they have a dream sheet, so you can put on your dream sheet where you want to go, but like I said, it's based on your job. So they'll give you options based on the job that you have, and if they need your job there, you can put it on the list and, you know, go from there. So, you know, it's kind of like a hit or miss, but then again, like 9 times out of 10, like, I got where I wanted to go. So it all depends on where you want to go and what the Air Force needs at the time. So traveling is definitely a pro, so take advantage. So the next pro that we have also deals with traveling. So this is something that a lot of people don't know, but when you travel with certain airlines, you know, in the States, you actually get your bag fees waived, and you also get to like board the plane first and stuff like that. So a lot of people look at that as a pro. I know I do because y'all know I travel a lot. So, and I pack like crazy, especially if I'm going somewhere where I want to be like really cute and, you know, just do it up. You know, sometimes your bag can be a little overweight, especially if you're bringing hair products, makeup, shoes, and that weight can definitely add up. So they definitely waive your bag fees. So that is definitely one of my favorite pros of being in the military because, honey, I would have spent buku bucks on baggage fees alone. And you also get pre-check. So that's another thing. You get TSA pre-check. You don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to get in that long line, and I love it. So I definitely take advantage of my TSA pre-check as well. And that's one of the top pros, honey, because like I said, traveling is my thing. So those benefits definitely come in handy. Benefits, and that's really the majority of the pros are the benefits. Like, the benefits are amazing. Your health care, if you're active duty, your health care is free. You don't pay anything. You go to the doctor. If they don't do whatever you need done at that doctor, then they'll refer you to a doctor that specializes in whatever is wrong with you, and you're good to go. You don't have to pay anything. Your medicine is free. They have a pharmacy on base. You go pick up your medicine and you're good to go. As far as like life insurance and stuff like that, you get great rates. Like, the life insurance rates are super cheap. If you're married, it rolls over to your family as well. Or if you have children, it will roll over to them also. So they get good healthcare benefits and stuff like that as well. But if you're in the reserve, you get great benefits when it comes to healthcare, but most of the time you have to pay like a copay for your doctor's visits or for your pharmacy visits, like for your medicine and stuff like that. You usually have to pay like a small copay if they don't cover the full amount for like your medicine or anything like that. So, and it's not pricey at all. Like, 9 times out of 10, they'll pay well over half of what it costs. So that's definitely a benefit. Like, you know, healthcare and stuff is so high these days, crazy out here. So you have to take advantage of the benefits in the world we live in today, it really makes me glad that I decided to join, because these benefits are unbeatable. But another pro that I wanted to talk about was banking. You also get really good opportunities to bank with some really great banks like USAA, Navy Federal. They have so many military banks. They have really great loan rates. I know a lot of people take advantage of their loan rates as far as like housing loans and car loans and stuff like that. I hear a lot of people talk about, you know, how great the rates are. Another pro of joining is training. So you get all sorts of training in the military. It varies based on your job, but they train you to do so many different things. They even have like relationship training and counseling and stuff like that. Like, the training is endless in the military. If you know, you know that you're always going to be in some type of training while you're in the military. So, you know, you're always learning and you're constantly growing, which is good, which is good. I really feel like you can never stop learning. You can never learn enough. So they want to make sure that you're well trained and ready to do your job and stuff like that. You know, they want to keep your knowledge flowing. But another thing dealing with learning, they actually have a tuition assistance program. Some guard units pay up to 100% of your tuition if you're signed up with that particular unit. Percentages vary, and if you're in the guard or reserve, it depends on what state you're in. So they will pay some of your tuition and give you tuition assistance. And I know someone who even switched guard units to go to a guard unit that would pay 100% of their tuition, and they went to school for free. So that's amazing. I probably sound like a freaking recruiter. I probably sound like a recruiter, but I'm just being real. Like, it's the truth. And I know some people who had student loans. Like, I didn't have to take out a student loan, so I don't really know how the process is, but I know some people who joined just to get their student loans paid off, you know, served their time and then got out, you know, once their student loans were paid off. So they do have that as well. But as far as the tuition assistance, they will pay, you know, a certain amount of your schooling. They'll give you a certain amount and it will go towards your degree. You really can't beat that, because college is so high, and we paid for my college out of pocket. Like, I mean, thank God, like, we were able to afford it, but still, like, some people can't afford college, and some people look to the military to actually pay for their tuition, and it definitely comes in handy. And there's nothing wrong with it if you want to go in and, you know, get them to pay for your school. As long as you finish your contract, then you're good. You serve your time and that money is yours. You know, do your research. That's the main thing. That is key. Research is key. It's always something online that you can look up, people you can ask, like myself. If you have any questions, don't forget to put them in the comment section below, or you can message me personally if you would like. I will definitely answer it to the best of my knowledge. But other than that, yeah, like I said, research is key. I really think I touched on everything. I didn't want this video to be too long, but I really just wanted to touch on the pros of the military and being in the Air Force. So let me know what you think down below. Comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. And don't be shy. Like, literally, write in the comments. Let me know what you think. And if you're in the military or if you're thinking about joining, you know, ask me any questions and I will definitely answer them to the best of my knowledge. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to watch the cons video as well, because like with all jobs, they have pros and they have cons. So I'm going to keep it real with you all and let you all know how I feel about being in the Air Force and the cons of being in the Air Force. So, all right. Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.